Welcome back to Blue Collar Speed and Repair. Last week we got our 59 Chevy truck sheet metal mounted up to our 74 Squarebody frame. Made some custom mounts. This go round, I'd like to see if we can get the front bumper mounted. That's at least the goal. Also got a Squarebody radiator over here. I'd like to see if we can get that bolted up or mounted in somehow, as well as our sway bar is too wide, which we did some bending on it last time and probably shouldn't have. All right, like I said, last time we made some mounts for our core support for front body to mount to the frame. Originally, I believe the 59 bumper just bolted to the frame rails. But we've narrowed these now, and we've got to make some brackets, as well as I believe the frame rail kind of set down lower. So we're gonna have to go around the sheet metal or angle down or something. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out exactly. We'll just have to kind of jump in and see what happens. I'm hoping we can just kind of set the bumper on our stands here. I don't know if it's gonna want to twist around or not, but I don't know, winging it like usual. Let's see what happens. All right, now. This is awkward. Okay. This is not gonna do what I want it to do. How's the best way to do this? Needs to go up over the body like that. It's got to go higher. We're gonna have to kind of eyeball this, I think. There's no real way. That sits on the sway bar. There's no real way to take measurements and that kind of stuff to get it exactly where it needs to be. This side's obviously lower. And it should kind of, if I remember correctly, I'll have to look at the pictures, but I think it sits over this lip a bit. Now what? Either. That's why I asked you.
I'm just spectating.
Yeah. All right, let me do some fiddling with this, get it straight side to side, up and down, all that good stuff, and then we'll look into mounting. All right, been doing some playing with this bumper a little bit. Obviously off camera because it's more thought process and tinkering than anything, but I think we have it where it kind of needs to be, which, to be honest, isn't 100% correct. If you measure off a few various points, frame rail to sheet metal, bumper brackets to sheet metal, or bumper brackets to the frame, technically it's off to one side. This way about 1/2 inch. But also if you look here, there's a big ding there. There's a couple of them on this side. So there's no telling if this bumper is actually straight. Most likely it's not. But if you back up just a little bit, if you look at this amount of space here, it's the same on the other side. And then I know you can't see this or feel this, but if I run my finger along the top here, the bumper lines up. The bumper's actually lining up with this body line. So I think it's basically where I want it. If you back up also, the bumper pretty well sits straight with the body. So I think that's kind of gonna be where it ends up. It's not perfect, it's not ideal, but none of this really is, right? So we've been pondering on how to actually mount this. So we got this inner sheet metal. You have the light still? We have this inner sheet metal to deal with, the frame rail here, and then obviously our brackets. I don't want to add any bolts, obviously. I don't want to change the aesthetic any. So that being said, I'm not sure where to go other than I think I'm going to make a plate that bolts onto here. I think I'm going to make an L plate that bolts onto here, side and bottom, because we can't get up to the top up in here. And once those are made, we'll just kind of play connect the dots and figure out maybe a chunk of cardboard or something that looks right, feels right. I'm not too concerned with usefulness as a bumper. This is purely cosmetic. If I run into something hard enough to bend a bracket, I'm probably doing other damage anyway, which is obviously not the plan. So, side note, look how bad this grill is. But it's on the bottom and you're never gonna see it. So anyway, let's make some brackets. I have a bunch of 3/16 plate, I think. Do I have tape measure? I do. So let's start with this. We need 3.5 by, call it 1.5 inch, 2 of them. Got all that?
Sure.
Okay, go.
I'm following you.
All right. Can't get that there. Can do it here. Three and a half.
I didn't know if you wanted to use that. There's a little chunk missing out.
Probably not. 1.5 inches. Let's go a hair wider than that. It doesn't seem very straight, does it? No, I think it's just my eyes.
I feel like that's the theme.
That is a theme. Nothing's ever straight. Everything's always crooked.
Need to get a new cutoff wheel.
Cutoff wheel, and which is kind of a pain to cut with a cutoff wheel. It tears through these really bad.
Plasma?
But then I got to do a bunch of cleaning up with a plasma cutter. If I use a plasma cutter. All right. Cutoff wheel, ear, eye protection, all that good stuff. Get back in just a second. All right. Oh,
Those are yours.
If you watch this channel at all, or if you're new here, thank you. You'll learn very quickly that we just kind of do things on a whim. I don't really plan anything, and most of the time I don't know what I'm doing anyway. I'm learning as I go.
I'm just a supervisor.
Huh?
Said I'm just a supervisor.
Yeah. I'm just a dummy with a toolbox. This is gonna take forever. We're giving up. We're doing plasma.
That was quick. If we talk to know it looks a little crooked.
All right, got these cleaned up just a little bit. Kind of crudely marked them with a Sharpie. We'll probably make the holes a little bit big so we have some freedom. Hopefully our stupid Christmas tree bit will actually cut. What are the chances I got these holes right? Those bolts.
Let me follow you.
Right back. Oh, I nailed it. I nailed it.
Next time we go to the hardware store, when we need to happen, bolts this link.
Why do you suppose these are two different sizes?
It was the square's fault. Maybe it was a measuring tape.
Alright, I'm gonna drill this one too. And then we'll see how to make the brackets for the frame. We'll be far enough. I mean, obviously with this side, you know, how this works. Like that. Wonder if we do that. Then we triangulate it back.
How do you manage the bumper?
Well, I'm just wondering if we do. Let me set this down. If we, well, I mean, that's going to step, but if we go, I lost tape measure again. But
Like it's over there.
If we cut this the same height as this here, and just bring that across, we weld that piece back in. And then we can just come across with a flat plate, and then we come across and triangulate it, and then it'll bolt on with these points here.
I'm fine with that. You think that'll work?
I don't know why it wouldn't.
You want me to grab tape measure?
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, let me cut these down to this height. Try to bring this straight across, because I can cut everything straight, obviously. And then we'll just essentially leave this front section of frame rail back on there that we should have never taken off to start with. Yeah. And then we'll come across, triangulate, and we should be good. All right.
You make this sound so easy.
So this one is right at 3 1/16. And all right, let's do that.
3 1/16.
Ish.
You got both of them?
Yeah, one of them.
All right, got the other one.
3 1/16-ish. This should be flat. That's gonna be hard to see, but that's all right. Nah. Like that. Just zip that whole thing off. Also lid.
How cutting it?
Cutoff wheel. This one will do cutoff wheel. All right, let me cut both these real quick. We'll get them welded back in place, and then we'll figure out brackets. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it, all right? All right, spent a little time getting all these kind of mounted. Because of the sheet metal, I can't get up in here and weld all the way. This is all gonna have to come apart, which I think we're gonna kind of do next. So the plan is, where'd our piece of cardboard go? There it is. If you come around this side, I think the rough idea is make a bracket kind of like that will attach to the side of the frame rail and then attach to here. We just kind of crudely drew something up. So I think we're going to do that next, and we'll get that tacked into place, and then we can get this bumper off and the front sheet metal back off, and then we can kind of finish everything, because like I said, I can't weld up in here because of the sheet metal on either side. And then because these frame rails are all cut up now and kind of hanging out the front, I think we're going to do a cross member across the front. Something really simple just to kind of keep them from trying to do this. And you got steering here, you got suspension here. While you're driving down the road, the frame will flex a little bit. I don't want the bumper moving all over the place if we can keep from it. This bumper, as well as the C10 bumper, mounted directly to the frame rails, so it would kind of act as a cross member anyway. And then we got to do some triangulation and stuff like that. But anyway, let's start with something like this. I think we'll cut outside the line, see what kind of fits, and transfer it to metal, get that kind of tacked into place, and then we'll take this all apart again. And we got a lot of painting to do.
Fun.
Oh, before we take it apart, I want to see if the C10 radiator fits in there, because we're probably going to have to make brackets for it as well. Well, we are going to have to make brackets for it as well. So transfer this to metal, both sides, tack it into place, then we'll see about setting the radiator in. Yeah?
Sounds like a plan.
Seems like some kind of plan?
Something.
Some kind of something.
Do we need to duplicate cardboard template?
Well, because this bumper is so blind. Because this bumper is so bent, the actual brackets are sitting this way slightly. So I think we'll use this one for this side. Mm-hmm. If I remember right, this bracket in relationship to the frame, here, over here. There you go. This bracket in relationship to the frame is about 3/8 of an inch farther away than this side.
Okay.
So if we can use this template for this side, and then we can trim this template down to make the other side. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And unfortunately, I'm kind of doing all this with just scrap metal I have laying around. the metal shop that was closest to me, or the metal supply store that was closest to me, closed it down. Of course, they were still like 45 minutes away, but I gotta find somewhere a little closer. And probably go attack their drop section and just buy a whole bunch of stuff to have on hand. I don't really have any like 2-inch wide strap, 3-inch wide strap, angle. That's why we're using a lot of frame. I don't have a lot of material. Let me go test fit this and see if it's even gonna work. And I guess we're gonna try to freehand plasma. This should go great.
I'm gonna grab ear protection from over here too. Ow.
Where's our sharpness? I'm not going to be very good at freehanding this, but we're going to try it.
I wonder if like a socket would work for that round corner.
Potentially. What about the rest of this? That's
I don't know. Most of it's straight edge-ish. You can use that.
Well, the problem is, I mean, this could be a straight line. Really. You could do that. And then just, I mean, we have grinders and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. All right, let's see what happens. Let me get the plasma cutter out and all that stuff and remove those anyway. Now the freehand part. All right.
Yeah.
We'll clean this up a little bit. We'll see if it fits. All right, I think something like that'll work. We'll tack this in a few places. I already cut the one for the other side, and I was mistaken. That one's actually a little longer. And as well as it hits the body slightly right there. So I had to cut out for that. But that should do it. So grab the welder. I'm gonna double check all the bumper, make sure it hasn't shifted and moved around any. Make sure it's where we want it. Get some tacks in place and get this thing unbolted out of our way. And then I think, what we talked about, radiator. See what kind of brackets we got to make for that. And then we can tear this whole thing apart again.
Yay.
Yay. All right, we need to switch to welder.
I already did.
Did it? Oh, look out. That gonna work? Ish.
Okay.
Gotta be careful not to weld to the actual bumper bracket. All right. That should. I don't really want to take these down yet. Yeah, it's holding. Okay, let's unbolt the bumper and get it out of our way.
Okay.
It's just tacked into place, so it's going to be interesting.
Do we leave these in place to take the bolts out and then?
It doesn't matter. She just pulls straight out.
I can't get my fingers to the top.
Can you grab that side?
Yeah. That's it.
All right, well that's nice and ugly. I'm gonna do a couple extra hefty tacks, and then we'll say about putting a radiator in place. Yeah, kind of ugly welded all the stuff I could kind of get to. It's all hot, of course, but ground this smooth. Again, we're gonna put some kind of a brace across here. Haven't decided what we're gonna do or use yet, but before we take the front body off, I want to see if this radiator is gonna squeeze in there. Hopefully it will. I don't really want to buy another radiator, but see what happens. And then we're probably gonna have to come off of this cross member with some kind of bracket of some sort. I'm not sure what's gonna happen just yet, but all right, so I think that's next. Drop it down, set the radiator in place, see if it even fits or if we're stalling right there. And if it does, fingers crossed, we'll make some brackets for it. Then we can take this whole damn thing apart, finish up a whole bunch of welding, bracing, painting. Yeah?
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah, sure. You don't care. You're just gonna watch and hold the camera.
You're welcome. Somebody's got to help you lift the body off. There's a
Let's
little...
see if it fits. I'm worried about the width. I'm worried about the depth. Only one way to find out. Be good to me. Well, heck, it's like it's made for it, kind of.
It's a wee bit snug.
It is very snug. Whew. Wiring will obviously have to run down low out of the way, zip tie it really good. But there is clearance to all our pulleys and stuff. It's currently sitting on the steering box, so we'll have to raise it up a bit and come up with something for the top mount when we get to that. But I think it'll work even if we raise it up a little bit like that.
Yeah.
I think we're okay. We're a little tight to that pulley, but the engine is solid mounted, so we should be okay. And if not, it'll self-clearance. All right, let's take it back up in the air and see what we can figure out for brackets for this thing. Let's stop. I'll put a piece of wood or something under it to kind of hold it a little bit. All right, back up in the air.
That's a little high. You're gonna get tired of reaching that far up.
Yeah, all right. Well, you can see there, it's sitting on the steering box currently. How do we do this? Kind of like that?
I got it on the front.
Did you? Okay.
Because you can see the angle.
Yeah. But I think if we put, I don't know, a block on each side, maybe a 2x4, raise this up just a little bit, and then we can figure out mounting. It's not going to take a whole lot. Just got to deal with the funky angles of the frame rail. Okay, let's see what I got for blocks of wood now. What can we do one in the middle? Not really, because he's going to be in the way of actually putting the brackets in. Whatever we come up with. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Mounted. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Wish the steering box wasn't right in my way
Of everything.
of everything. It's not going to take much. And the steering box is in the way on that side. But if we came off with a little bit of an L bracket, just drill this out and put a rib nut in it,
Yeah.
it would sit directly on that, and then we could do another rubber washer or whatever. Right now it's sitting against the pulley, so that's neat. But I think it's also, yeah, it's tilted that way.
Yeah. I was...
Are we off the steering box now?
Yeah.
We are. So what if we did that? We could unbolt the steering box, move it out of the way, just do a little L tab out of something. I like it. I like it.
There's a chunk of frame rail over there on the cart.
Yeah. And it just barely fits. If you look right here, now that we have it propped up, it barely fits between the body and the,
We're stuck.
yeah, between the inner fender.
She's snug.
All right.
Okay, so what size bracket do you need?
Hell,
Are you
I don't know.
gonna cut something and improvise?
It's sitting crooked right now. I can see it.
Yeah, the
It's
two
high
by
on this side.
the 2x4s are a little twisted. And it could be caught on a pulley too.
All right, let's start with that. 1 bolt of box. Let's see what I have to make a bracket. I wish I had some angle iron or something, but I don't. We want to get crazy, we put one in the middle. Also.
Yeah.
All right, let's figure out something on the outside and then we'll go from there. All right, I got a little bit of a bracket made. I'll probably come back and triangulate this a little bit. But you can see I did a rib nut in one of the holes. So we should be able to mount that just like that. And then I found, or actually she found, it's a metal washer on one side, but the rest of it's rubber. So should be able to use that as an isolator. Something like that. It should sit in there really good. And then I'll just buzz this on and then probably do a triangulation on the back once this is all apart. The other side is a little more funky because of the steering box. So same idea. That'll mount in there like that. I'm gonna have to take more of this off, I think. But I'm not sure what happened. But same thing. That'll sit in there kind of like that. But you can see where the steering box mounted. So I'm probably gonna take this edge off more. So there's room for the box to mount, remount. I don't know what happened. Maybe it moved when I drilled it.
Maybe.
But I think next step, I'm gonna take this off. It really doesn't matter that much. I thought I was bolting these on, but with the steering box and all that, I think I'm just gonna weld them. Figure out where to drill these holes for mounting. It is, this side's way low for whatever reason. Anyway, drill these holes, mount them to the radiator. And they'll probably lower this down and kind of get it square. Probably have to shim it and whatever. See if we can get it kind of straight before we tack weld these into place. As well as I gotta figure out how to get a grinder in here to clean off some paint. So, I lost tape measure again, it's all the way over there. Actually, I shouldn't need it. I take this guy, set it up here. We should be able to just mark the hole. If we center that way and center this way, wherever those intersect should be our hole, right?
Theoretically.
In theory. All right, so if we do the same on this side, that. I'm gonna go punch a couple holes and get these bolted on, and then we'll go from there. I don't know. Like usual, just winging it. My hole is off just a hair, but whatever. It left just a little bit of a gap between the core support and the radiator. Just a little bit of breathing room. So I'm gonna tack this into place, both sides, and then we'll have to figure out a top mount. Then we tear all this whole thing apart again.
Sounds like a good time.
Not really.
Not having fun?
I'm having all kinds of fun. Will this work? Room?
It's isolated.
It's hooked to metal.
Okay.
This on? Hello, is this thing on? Ouch. You know, I have welding gloves and I never use them. All right, that should be enough to hold that in place. We got lights everywhere. This side, so we got a little bit of a gap. Uh-oh. My block of wood and everything just moved. I don't know if we're straight now.
There's a ladder over here.
We're a hair high.
Okay, that came down a lot.
I like that. Okay. Now, need to make just a little bit of a gap somehow. That just moved a bunch more. Right? I need something to put here. The washer. Every time I try to move it, that's gone. I don't know where that went. That. Okay.
Is that gonna clear the box? Okay.
Yep, should just clear.
Okay.
And if we gotta grind out a little bit, we gotta grind out a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's that. So in theory, should be able to take all the blocks and stuff out.
Here's your washer.
And now it's sitting there. No, that washer's still there.
I meant the missing one.
There we go.
All right, now top mounts.
It's technically mounted, and we have just a little bit of gap there on both sides. All right, now let's figure out a top mount. Oh. All right, bottom mounts are all done. This thing's in here pretty solid, obviously at the bottom, not the top. I think we're gonna have just enough clearance. It's snug, but it does fit. Also, the way that hood is, it comes up and over. It actually sits up in here, so there's no problems with clearance on the top. I honestly think just like a piece of sheet metal bent will hold this in just fine. I think I have some like 11 gauge or something. I think what I'm gonna do, this is the like little cover that the hood latch bolts to. It obviously needs to be replaced. But I think I'm gonna cut it at this seam, and I'm gonna mount our radiator bracket under. So it'll come to here, bend up, over, and then probably around this lip, and then we'll bolt it in like we did the bottom. The problem is I don't own a sheet metal brake. They're not that expensive, like a Northern Tool or Harbor Freight one, but I don't have a place to put one either for as little as you use it. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to bend this without you know, putting a bunch of hammer marks and stuff in it. So let me get a piece of metal out, figure out what width we need, a rough length which we can cut shorter if we need to, and go from there. Let's see what we got.
All right.
All right, so essentially I measured out kind of an idea, 7.5 inches-ish would be a little long. This one is 8 by 24. I don't have anything that's the 27.5 or so wide that I would need. So we're gonna go a little narrower. It's gonna be 24-ish inches, which should be fine. So now we gotta figure out how to bend this thing. And I think I have something we can clamp to it, clamp it to the bench, maybe figure out a way to bend this. Let's find out. So I'm gonna start with, this needs to be 1.25 inch, inch and a quarter. And then if this is pulled back, we need to be, look up. I want a little bit of a gap there. So call it 3.5. 1.25 and 3.5. All right, let's start with that.
It's cold and it's rainy, and I don't want to go out.
It's pretty gross outside. So we have like this sharp edge. This I think is too rounded, but I'm wondering if we can clamp this to the side and then clamp something to this and bend that way. I'm just trying to figure out either that or set something against this to kind of hammer on so we don't put a bunch of dimples and dings in this as the plan. A sheet metal brake obviously be the play here, but I don't have one. And you know me, I like to just make do with what I got. So I already forgot, 1.25 inches.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's typical.
I'm here to observe.
Hold the camera, right?
Yeah.
And shake it.
Collect tools.
Put them away before I'm done. All right. I lost the cap. There it is.
In my defense, the last tool I put away before you were done was technically you were done. You used it on the whiteboard. I didn't know you were going to use it on the
Yeah,
truck.
we did a whiteboard.
Yeah, we did a whiteboard.
Try to keep track of some stuff since I can't remember anything. Anyway, what was I doing? Any clamps?
Finding something to clamp.
Let me get
to
some
bend.
clamps. Let me find something to attempt to bend this with, and then we'll be back in a second. All right, we're gonna try this with a piece of angle iron here.
You want a hammer?
No, I'm gonna see if this will just bend over first. That kind of even works. Probably should have started one end though. I don't have a piece of angle long enough.
That hit your foot?
No. I don't have a piece of angle iron long enough. I was hoping I did. All right, come on. Well, of course, I don't actually know what kind of angle I need either. Let's try it. It sure is. Maybe I should just be doing this right here.
Maybe. crooked.
Yeah. I thought it might, but I don't think it's going to.
Hammer.
Alright, let's do it this way. If anybody wants to get me a sheet metal brake for Christmas.
You still don't have a place to put it.
Huh?
I say you still don't have a place to put it.
No, I don't.
A drawer full of hammers and you're looking for what? That is not going to get the desired look here.
No, it's not.
Might be better off heating it up a little bit.
Yeah. But then it gets all kind of distorted and stuff too. Yeah, that looks terrible. Alright, I ended up just putting this in the vise, working my way across, and ended up using a hammer. It did kind of dimple it and all that stuff. I don't know what else to do. Again, I don't have a sheet metal brake. So, drilled some holes, stuck it in place, marked where we need to make our next band. I think I'm going to try to use this side maybe. I'm hoping maybe pushing down might help. I do have an actual body hammer, which I didn't use last time. Not that I know how to use it, but I think I'll try to clamp this here. And I don't know, see what happens. Probably use a long one too.
More than one, or are you good?
Yeah, give me that one. That. Now what? Still not doing the thing. You get it kind of close-ish, and then we can kind of sharpen up the edge. That's what I'm hoping, but that's not really working either. Really need a couple longer pieces of angle iron, but I don't have any. Alright, I guess it's gonna have dimples in it. How much is a sheet metal brake?
Are we going to Harbor Freight?
I don't know.
They're still open if we're doing it. Let's do it before we ruin it.
I like to ruin it first,
Okay.
and then have to get a new one.
Well, we do have another one, but that's not the point.
Thinner metal might have helped too, but alright. Problem is, it's got to bend that far.
Let's just go on an adventure.
The funny thing is, if we had a sheet metal brake, we would have done it in like 5 minutes. But, you know, it's fine. Alright, I hope this is good enough. That looks terrible. Alright.
That looks good enough.
I would agree with that.
Cut it off.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to try to bend the back over like I had originally thought. Like I said, this piece is going to be replaced. I did trim this edge off. Obviously, when we replace it, we'll trim that off, make it a little nicer. But something like that, that should have been a little sharper there, but still have room. I think we're just going to buzz a few holes in this. Mark this guy. Call it good enough. I'll try to hit this with the hammer and beat it up more and pretend like I made it better. What do you think?
I'm sure. Okay. Do you have a marker to mark it to cut it?
Well, I'm going to drill holes and mount it first. Nice and solid. Mark this guy. We'll just cut it off. I'm going to spend a little time with that hammer and try to clean this edge up a little bit, make it look a little better. But that pretty much makes the radiator mounted. That's not going anywhere. It does, yeah. Has a little gap all the way down. And it's not touching pulleys. It's close, but it's not touching pulleys.
Got like...
There's not much room there. But it should work. Okay, from here, what do we do?
Cut that off.
I know. We got to cut this off, clean it up, but I'll do that off camera. All that's left is, I think, messing with the sway bar.
Yep.
All right.
And we have to take this back out.
All this has to come apart. It does.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get to this off camera. I'll clean it up. All this stuff has to come apart for paint anyway. Let's show you what we got going on with the sway bar. All right. Last episode, we tried to bend, or straighten, I should say, our sway bar. After we were done with that and the body's on and everything, I was testing our turning radius and seeing how bad it hits on our fenders, which I ordered a bunch of cheap suspension stuff, so hopefully we can do something about that. Anyway, full turn, the tires are hitting the sway bar. Looked up a picture. This is a CPP, Classic Performance Products sway bar for a C10. The bend that was here is supposed to be there. So these are supposed to be straight here and then kick out. And then I realized we narrowed this front end 4 inches and did not narrow the sway bar. So I think what I'm going to try to do, and this is probably not going to work, is I think I'm going to cut these ends off, see if I can get the tube out of them, see if we can straighten the section that needs to be straight, put the bend back in the ends. I already measured, this is 36 inches overall. We can narrow this down to 34 and then weld it all back together.
And if it doesn't work, we buy a new one.
They're $250 though. That's why I didn't want to buy another one.
We'll see how it works
If we
out.
can make this work, we will. If not, we can get another one, I guess. But we'd have to narrow that one too.
Yeah. We're going to have to customize anything.
Yeah. All right, let's unbolt this thing, see about cutting it. See if we can put this thing in the press and get these ends semi-straight. If it works great, if not, then we'll figure something else out, I guess.
Is this the right socket?
No, that's wrong. Where are my tools at?
Hey, on the tool cart?
All right.
The cart O tools?
All right, skip ahead a little bit. Got this cut apart. Just cut the two welds on each side, or the weld on each side with the cutoff wheel. Grind it down smooth, knock the center out. I think they're laying down there. So if you see this line right there, I know it's hard to see, that's where it should be bent. The rest of this should be straight. For instance, that bend shouldn't be there. Same with this one. This should be straight. This bend should be there. So I'm going to put this in the press between the two plates and try to straighten this as best I can. And then we'll go back into here and see if we can figure out how wide it needs to be. I think I measured it before, but I don't remember now. So let me play with the press for a couple minutes, see if we can get this kind of straight. And then we'll cut this to length, clean it up, weld it all back together. And then we have a whole bunch of work to do still. Got to get this front end off. Got to get the, down here. Got to get the front end off. Got to get the front of the frame rails cleaned up, braced, a whole bunch of welding, a whole bunch of grinding, a whole bunch of cutting. And I have to work tomorrow, and it's already getting late. So I'm just going to push through. All right, I think that's as good as it's going to get. All right, we cut the bar down to 34 inches, weld these back on, see if we can figure out a width, blow the whole front end of this thing apart, do a whole bunch of welding and a whole bunch of painting. Hopefully I can get it done tonight, maybe not. You may not see it final at the end of this video, I'll try. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna put this in fast motion so I don't have to talk to you guys. That's not what I meant to say at all. That's not what I meant. So I don't have to talk and explain and get sidetracked. Anyway, fast motion, I'm gonna get to work and here we go.
Sure.
Let's try this again without the battery dying. All right, I think I got this pretty much done. Added a cross brace across the front, just a little extra to keep the frame rails from trying to walk around, as well as some triangulation into the actual bumper mounts. And then just filled in our funky little gap we had here, just as a filler. Doesn't really do anything, just kind of cleans it up a little bit. Didn't get as far as I was hoping to. We haven't touched any of the brackets, haven't painted any of that stuff. I want to take apart the front end again, probably clean up and paint the core support and inner fenders, that kind of stuff. I didn't touch our like radiator upper mount deal that we made. Just ran out of time, unfortunately. I don't know if I'll do that stuff off camera. Maybe we'll start the next video that way. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But bumper mounted, front end mounted. Like I said, I ordered a bunch of really crappy, cheap suspension parts to kind of hopefully set the ride height. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure yet, but got to figure out exhaust still is the main thing. Fuel system, that kind of stuff, to kind of see if we can make this thing start and run, hopefully. Haven't messed with any coolant hoses or any of that stuff yet. We haven't touched brakes, all that. There's a lot to do. The list is long. All right. So maybe we'll touch on that kind of stuff, next time. But for now, I think this is where we're going to end it. It's already like, I don't know, after 7:30, and I have to be up at 5 to go to the day job tomorrow. So I'm just flat out of time. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you like, comment, subscribe for me, I appreciate it. I read all your comments. You guys are awesome. And I can't think of anything else to say. So you got anything to add?
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you guys so very much. We'll see you guys next time.